I shall be at your orders, said Monte Cristo, bowing. But, cried Morcerf, a propos of Danglars, we have strangely wandered from the subject. We were speaking of a suitable habitation for the Count of Monte Cristo. Come, gentlemen, let us all propose some place. Where shall we lodge this new guest in our great capital? Faubourg Saint-Germain, said Chateau Renaud. The Count will find there a charming hotel, with a court and garden. Bah! Chateau Renaud, returned Debray. You only know your dull and gloomy Faubourg Saint-Germain. Do not pay any attention to him, Count. Live in the Chaussée d'Antin. That is the real center of Paris. Boulevard de l'Opéra, said Beauchamp. The second floor, a house with a balcony. The Count will have his cushions of silver cloth brought there. And as he smokes his chibouk, see all Paris pass before him. You have no idea then, Morrel? Asked Chateau Renaud. You do not propose anything. Oh, yes, returned the young man, smiling. On the contrary, I have one, but I expected the Count would be tempted by one of the brilliant proposals made him. Yet, as he has not replied to any of them, I will venture to offer him a suite of apartments in a charming hotel, in the Pompadour style, that my sister has inhabited for a year, in the Rue Meslay. You have a sister? Asked the Count. Yes, monsieur, a most excellent sister, married. Nearly 9 years. Happy? Asked the Count again. As happy as it is permitted to a human creature to be, replied Maximilian. She married the man she loved, who remained faithful to us in our fallen fortunes, Emmanuel Urbault. Monte Cristo smiled imperceptibly. I lived there during my leave of absence, continued Maximilian, and I shall be, together with my brother-in-law Emmanuel, at the disposition of the Count, whenever he thinks fit to honor us. Wow, I had forgotten about the little love affair between Emmanuel and Maximilian's sister, whose name is, I'm gonna say, Sarah? Agnes? Ingrid? Mademoiselle? Is that her name, maybe? I've completely forgotten the name of his sister. I mean, it all comes back now. I do remember the whole thing, Emmanuel working for Morrel, etc., etc. Dante trying to eke out more information about the Morrel situation as it pertains to the good he's done. I'm wondering if this is a sort of, I wouldn't even call it a boon to his soul so much as a sort of perverted justification for what he has planned for his enemies. Ah, yes, let me see all the good I've done in this world, the sort of runway I've constructed for all of the ill I am about to do. Although I'm sure Dante doesn't see what he's about to do as ill. Okay, we are nearing the end of chapter 40, and I don't have much more commentary. This has just been a big ol' conversation chapter or two. That's right, folks. I got so caught up in our daily readings that I had forgotten about our mystery about Robin Buss and why the Penguin Classics translation is different in its chapter breakdown. I've got 3 episodes to figure that out. I will get that answer for us and solve that mystery by the end of chapter 40. But for now, let us turn once again to the biography. And I only have 2 earmarks left, though I think just the general knowledge from this biography, which, I haven't said it enough or repeated enough. Thank you to Stan the Fan for sending this in. It has proved to be worth its weight in gold for information and context surrounding Dumas. I have 2 other biographies I still have to read. But the penultimate bookmark I have here, I found to be interesting in that Dumas, we didn't really talk about how he is with money, but spent it often. He liked the glamorous life, was very generous with it. Not really necessary to what I want to talk about here today. Anyway, he built this house, this very famous house, and he called it La Château de Monte Cristo. I think recognizing how much this story that we are reading day in and day out did for him in his career, his reputation, becoming internationally renowned for it. And funny, I met someone the other day who, this comes up from time to time. I don't always lead when I'm meeting new people that I have a daily podcast about the Count of Monte Cristo. But it came up, and he had said that, oh yeah, I remember reading that back in high school. And I think that's fallen off a bit. I mean, one, it's just a big old novel. So how can you read the whole thing in high school? Maybe an abridged version of it. But it made me just wonder how often people are encountering this story these days and in what context. I mean, there's, adaptations of it happening all of the time. Two, since we've even started doing this show, a really famous French one, and then the BBC did a miniseries last year, or was it this year? Earlier this year, to 2026. So it's often in the public consciousness in one medium or another. The fact that it's in the public domain, especially this initial anonymous translation, means that any fly-by-night book publisher can put a version of it onto shelves. And you see this happen a lot. I'm a lover and collector of the Penguin cloth-bound classics, and this doesn't pertain to Monte Cristo so much as just a general note about how these fly-by-night publishers work, where you get a prestigious imprint like Penguin putting out their classics, but they've put together prefaces and paid for new translations, and there's notes and all kinds of stuff to support the work that has gone into that particular version that is being published. You'll get a fly-by-night publisher hoping to crowd in on that game a little bit and put a little bit of effort into the design of it, maybe a hardcover, maybe an interesting book design, but not paying for a new translation, not paying for, an introduction by a scholar, no, notes on the text, anything like that. And just very sloppily copying and pasting the translation into their printing software and then getting it out the door as quickly as possible with a lot of loosey-goosey oversight when it comes to quality control of what happens between the covers. This happened with me actually with before I got really, really streetwise about these sorts of things. I had bought a box set of Jane Austen because my partner really loves Jane Austen, and it was a good price. It was the entire collection of her works, hardcover, and I think the Penguin's cloth-bound classics had just been released. There's a amazing set that Penguin has of her books in cloth-bound. Beautiful. And I think this publisher, which I believe was in India, because trust me, I had to do some customer service searching after this, got this box set out. And, the covers and the spines, they look appealing enough. And for the price, this is where they get you, is they always undercut the price of the big publishers, so that if you have between two options, you go, well, these both look beautiful on my shelf, I'm going to go with the cheaper one. What you might not be aware of, particularly in this case where the box set was shrink wrapped, so I couldn't see the individual books on the inside. I open it, and it's not fun to read. It's all just like basic ass Times New Roman. Line heights are different. The paragraphs aren't justified. The kerning and spacing between letters is inconsistent. It's all over the place. And if that weren't enough, there are two books right in the center of it, Persuasion and I want to say it was Sandition. You open up Persuasion and, hey, look at here, this poorly printed version of Persuasion, and you move on to Sandition and you open that up and you go to the title page and it says, you guessed it, Persuasion. So I think that they either didn't realize that they had printed the same book twice with different covers, or my suspicion they had a specific amount of space in the box set, probably from some oversight, and couldn't physically fit the length of Sandition into the preset space they already had invested in. And so just reprinted the book twice and decided, you know what, we'll shut up our doors before any customers can come complain. Plus, I bought it at a used bookstore, no refunds. And so now I just have this Jane Austen set that I look at every day and think, my God, if I'd only sprung for the Penguin Clothbound Classics version. Well, that's all I've got. Shall we meet here tomorrow? 3 episodes left. Let's finish out book 40. Okay, I am going to go, unlike these gentlemen, get some oatmeal for breakfast. That's what I'm going to do. I like to make my oatmeal. Nowadays, I mostly make it with, like, berries, like a little berry medley. Historically, ooh, this is so good. I used to make the oatmeal. No milk. Don't put the milk in the oatmeal. Every once in a while. Maybe a dollop of Greek yogurt. But not with what I'm about to describe. You make the oatmeal. Get the right consistency. The right softness of it. Then top it with a little bit of brown sugar. Maybe do a little sprinkling of cinnamon. And then some diced apples on top of that. Ding dong dong dong. Ooh boy, that was a favorite breakfast of mine for a long time. But now I have an apple for breakfast with cinnamon. And it, like, I don't want to have 2 apples in one day because A, they're expensive, and B, there's so many other fruits in the world. So now I do with berries and just a touch of honey. Okay, goodbye. The Countdown of Monte Cristo is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. This show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. Theme song by Magic Solo. If you want to support the show and others like it, visit patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.